You may use this word groupings practice as a standalone, or you may wish to revisit the examination practice called Council's Attempt to Reduce Antisocial Behaviour, which is at 80 words per minute after you've practiced the groupings, because I'm going to present them in the order in which they appear in that passage. Also, I'm going to pay attention to how groupings can be adapted slightly. We've talked about that before, but I'm going to give you a few alternatives that are very similar to the ones in the passage too. So we're going to start with thank you, missing out the TH of course and just putting "ank you." The alternatives there: we thank you, I thank you, I would like to thank you. The principle being the same. Next one, in the area. Similar, in this area where the H is sloped the way the I goes in this. In your area. Next one, you will be. So important that that you is tight and is rounded, so that it will not be confused with either I will be, where it's sharp, or we will be, where it's not so rounded and the two W's should be the same size. Next one, over the last few years. Now, although the word few is written with the FW blend, when we use it in the grouping over the last few years, the FW blend does not fit nicely between the T and the YS of years. So we are going to put the F and the W separately. It would be the same for over the last few weeks, where the F and the W are separate. But look there at how I've made the W do double time. It's the W of few and it's also the W of weeks. And then over the last few months, where we're reducing months to just MS. Next one, a number of people have. We're so used to a number of people, but in this passage that I've referred to, it's followed by the word have. So join it on to the PL intersection for people. A number of people have. Alternatives: a number of people have said. A number of people have told us. There is not enough. That might be there is not sufficient. There is not to be. And in that last one, there is not to be, we've made the T of not do the work of the T of to. Young people. So Y and disjoin U for young, and then the PL intersection again for people. Sometimes it's young man. Join the man onto the disjoined U for ung. If it's young woman, we tend to just chop the wood because the W doesn't join very well to the U indicator. And this would not, of course, be confused with young wood, young wide, young word, because the sense of the sentence would undoubtedly let us know that it's young woman. Next, all sorts of things. We're writing all sorts ings. Now it might be all sorts of problems. In that one, I've inserted the O for of, whereas in all sorts of things, I miss the of out completely. You could, of course, miss it out with all sorts of problems, but I'm using that O to join the PR blend. All sorts of people. Again, I could have missed the O out and just put all sorts people. For example, now here I've crossed the X, for example, but X can also be crossed for extend or extent. So we've got here to a large extent and to some extent. When you write to some extent, cross the X upwards so that we're travelling from left to right. We're going in the right direction. Next one, last week. It could have been last year or last month. So just W for week, Y for year, M for month. Great deal of trouble. Missing out the of again, great deal trouble. It could have been great deal money, great deal of money, great deal time, great deal of time. All over the place. We're writing the A indicator only of all, and we're writing it over the top of place. So we've got all over the place. It could have been all over the floor, all over the shop, all over the area. Next one, we have been. Now going back to that importance of size and shape, it could have been you have been, I have been. So the size of the we is so crucial so that you don't confuse it with the you, because very often both make equally good sense and a needless mark is lost. And they have been, where we're sloping the H of they to become the H of have. Recently we learned a special way of writing mental health, but of course you could change health to just the H, making the upward L of mental like an umbrella over the H of health, so that it looks all grouped together and is easily recognisable. And we finish with community centre. We know we write the little C through the centre of anything when we want to say centre, instead of writing the word in full. Community centre, and let me remind you of town centre, city centre. We could also write, of course, in the centre.